I guess we're in the company of Little Deviants here at the PlayStation Lounge. We've got one of the upcoming PS Vita titles here, Little Deviants from Big Studios. Could you tell us a little bit about the basic concept of the game?
Okay, so the idea of the game is to showcase the Vita's hardware abilities, the front touch, the rear touch, the mic, the front camera, the rear camera, and the 6-axis. So basically, we're designing games that utilize all of those features.
And can you explain a little bit about like the setup for it, and can you give us an examples of how you utilize these many different means of controlling the?
Sure. Okay, so there's going to be an overall story to the game, which we're going to announce at a later date. But basically, each game will use the functionality of the Vita. So you've got like the rear deformation demo, which you would have seen in January when they announced NGP originally.
So. But you also mentioned the camera, for instance. What kind of things can you do with the camera?
Okay, so one of the first games we're showing off is the augmented reality game using the rear camera, which is a game called Bots Blast. And in that, you're moving the Vita around the room and shooting at robots which are trying to destroy the Deviants.
Sort of wave after wave of enemies.
Wave after wave of enemies, and you've got enemies that fire slime at you, and they'll cover the screen, and then you'll use the front touch just to wipe away the slime from the screen so you can carry on playing. So trying to use all the really cool features of Vita to introduce the player to what the cool machine, what things the machine can do.
I guess with a game like this, it's almost like you have a pitfall of going into sort of a gimmicky area. What do you do to try and make sure that the gameplay is deep enough and not just trying out new things and that are fun for a little bit and then perhaps doesn't last?
Well, that's just a concept phase. I mean, we've been in development for this game for about 2 years now, so we've been able to create gameplay and polish it over the months and months and months, and so we get games that are basically solid and very enjoyable to play.
But there's a ton of them. I believe you're aiming at 30 games?
30 games, yeah, and they all use the Vita in a different way, sort of front touch, rear touch, combinations of the two. So basically, it's been a massive variety of stuff for the game.
I guess moving on also, you could sort of look at what games were popular and perhaps expand that with downloadable content and things like that.
Sure, I mean, there's nothing to announce at that time, but that's definitely a possibility, yep.
So just in general, what do you feel about you worked on PSP obviously in the past. Right. What do you feel about this new piece of hardware?
Oh, well, it's amazing. I mean, and we've had opportunity right from the beginning to develop for it. Sony came to us about 2 years ago and said, we're doing a next generation machine. Here's its abilities like the front touch, the rear touch, and obviously the performance of the machine. What can you do with it? So we've been able to have basically where we could do anything we wanted. So we created this game that uses everything the machine can do.
Has all of these things been a part of it since the start?
Well, we originally started with a tech demo, which we actually called the tablecloth demo, which you would have seen in January when they announced NGP. So that was a deformation demo where you're deforming the landscape to move the character around the screen.
I mean, all the features of the Vita, were they all part when Sony came to you 2 years ago?
Yes, they were. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, they're at an early stage, but yeah, they were all there available. Yes.
Right. So even if some details leaked early, a lot of them were kept on the locks, I guess.
Yeah, surprisingly, yeah, a lot of stuff was kept until very recently, when it all got leaked. Yeah.
And how long have you guys had like the final look of the hardware and stuff like that?
The very final hardware was a few months. Basically, we've had the final form factor, but it's been NGP up until like the last few days for us. To be honest, we didn't know the name at all.
Will you be ready for launch with Little Deviants?
Yeah, it will be a launch game for Vita. So when that ships, we'll be there day one.